Was Mr. Darcy arrogant or just misunderstood? Pride and Prejudice Analysis, Chapters 1 to 11. Hello, and welcome to the Art Director's Debrief. In this analysis, our first for the Pride and Prejudice series, we step back from the flow of the narrative to examine the canvas itself. Before we can truly understand the portraits of the individuals, we must first understand the world they inhabit. The England of the early 19th century, the Regency era, was a world of rigid structures and profound anxieties. For a family like the Bennets, with 5 daughters and an entailed estate, life was a high-stakes performance. Marriage was not merely a romantic aspiration, it was the primary vehicle for a woman's economic survival and social mobility. Their home, Longbourn, could not be inherited by any of his daughters, a fact that hangs over the entire story like a gathering storm cloud. It is this underlying tension, this quiet desperation, that fuels the narrative engine and gives every social interaction a layer of strategic importance. With this context in mind, let us turn our attention to the opening act of our story, chapters 1 through 11. The theme that governs this section is powerful and immediate, the art and the profound danger of the first impression. Jane Austen, with the precision of a master painter, doesn't just present this as a simple meeting of characters, she crafts it as a complex artistic process where every person is simultaneously the artist, the subject, and the critic. The Meryton Assembly Ball serves as our grand exhibition, a gallery where the key players are introduced under the bright, unforgiving lights of public scrutiny. Let us walk through this gallery and examine the portraits Austen unveils. First, there is the portrait of Mr. Bingley. It is a work of pure romanticism, painted in warm, vibrant colors with soft, inviting brushstrokes. He is all effortless charm, genuine smiles, and unpretentious grace. His canvas radiates an uncomplicated sunshine that immediately endears him to everyone, especially the serene Jane Bennet, who is herself an idealized portrait of gentle beauty and quiet virtue. Their connection is immediate, a harmonious pairing of 2 similar sunlit paintings. Then, our eyes are drawn to the portrait of Mr. Darcy. The style shifts dramatically into a work of stark neoclassicism, bordering on the Gothic. This is a portrait in chiaroscuro, a study of intense light and deep shadow. He is rendered with sharp, severe lines. The colors are cold, the expression is guarded, the posture is rigid. He is a masterpiece of form, tall, handsome, noble, but he appears as cold and unapproachable as a marble statue in a grand empty hall. He is a figure of immense wealth and status, and he wears his 10,000 a year like a suit of armor, isolating him from the provincial company he finds himself in. He is admired for his form, but reviled for his coldness. In this gallery, we also find the other Bennet sisters, each a minor sketch contributing to the family portrait. Lydia and Kitty are quick, careless charcoal lines, full of motion but lacking substance. Mary is a stiff, awkward study in attempted intellectualism. And Mrs. Bennet is a caricature painted in loud, garish colors, her every expression a testament to her singular, frantic ambition. It is against this chaotic family backdrop that the quiet elegance of Jane and the sharp intelligence of Elizabeth must be judged. The true drama of the exhibition begins when its primary critic, Elizabeth Bennet, becomes a subject herself. The pivotal moment, the single stroke that defines the entire show for her, is Darcy's infamous comment, overheard and never to be forgotten. Let us dissect this comment with the care of a conservator examining a canvas. On the surface, it is a devastating assessment, a brutal combination of lukewarm praise and outright rejection. But what is its true texture? From Darcy's perspective, it was a private comment to a friend, a careless, perhaps even socially awkward, from a man who feels himself above the proceedings. It is the voice of a London aristocrat finding himself unimpressed in a country ballroom. It is prideful, yes, but was it intended as a public declaration of cruelty? Perhaps not. However, intention is irrelevant when it comes to impact. For Elizabeth, this comment is a profound wound. It is not merely an insult to her vanity, but an assault on her intelligence and self-worth. It confirms her initial reading of his portrait, that he is arrogant, cold, and disdainful. Her own pride, the pride of a woman who values her own wit and spirit, is deeply stung. And so, she responds not with tears, but with art of her own. Her weapon is wit, her medium is irony. She retells the story of his insult with a humorous, satirical spin, transforming her own humiliation into a source of amusement for her friends. This is a critical character moment. She refuses to be a tragic victim. She chooses to be the sharp-witted narrator of her own story. Her prejudice is thus born not just from hurt, but from a place of intellectual self-defense. The portrait of Darcy is now framed in her mind, and the label beneath it reads simply, Pride. The battleground then shifts from the crowded ballroom to the intimate, charged atmosphere of the Netherfield drawing room. Here, the art being practiced is conversation, and the duels are fought with words. The extended stay of Jane and Elizabeth at Netherfield provides Austen with a contained stage to further explore the contrast between our central pair. The debates that unfold, particularly the famous discussion on what constitutes an accomplished woman, are not idle chatter. They are a form of intellectual warfare. When Darcy, prompted by the fawning Miss Bingley, lists the myriad skills a woman must possess, music, singing, drawing, dancing, modern languages, and a certain something in her air and manner of walking, he is not just describing an ideal. He is defending the values of his class. He is painting a picture of a woman as a perfect, polished object of art designed to adorn the life of a man of status. It is a portrait of feminine worth defined by acquisition of skills. Elizabeth's sharp, playful rebuttal is a masterful act of defiance. When she exclaims that she never saw such a woman, she is not merely being witty. She is challenging the very foundation of his definition. She is a champion for a different kind of portrait, one where a woman's worth is defined not by her accomplishments, but by her character, her intelligence, and her spirit. She refuses to let herself or her gender be confined to a checklist. It is in these moments that we see the first true cracks in Darcy's formidable facade. He is not offended by her challenge, he is intrigued. He finds himself drawn to the very fine eyes that are so cleverly observing and deconstructing him. The artist is becoming fascinated by his sharpest critic. He begins to see that the quick sketch he made of her at the ball, tolerable, was woefully incomplete. He is forced, against his will, to look again and to see the vibrant, complex details of the real woman before him. And so, our first act concludes. The primary portraits have been painted, not on canvas, but in the minds of our characters. Elizabeth has created a definitive portrait of Darcy as Pride, using his own words and actions as her medium. Darcy, in turn, has sketched a dismissive portrait of Hertfordshire society, yet finds himself unable to look away from the one subject who refuses to fit neatly into his composition. Both are brilliant artists, and both are terrible judges. They are seeing each other only through the powerful, distorting lens of their first impressions. The key question, as we move forward in our archive, is this: what happens when an artist is forced to confront the fact that their own masterpiece is a lie? Can a portrait, once framed and hung in the mind, ever be repainted? Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive. I invite you to share your own impressions in the comments below. Was Elizabeth's prejudice a fair and inevitable response? And is there more to Mr. Darcy's pride than meets the eye?